Okay, people, here's Mr. Lace. If you notice, I can still handle him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
I love him.
I know. I love him too. I love him a lot.
Well, I hold this kitty.
And you got the kitty?
Yep.
Hello, Mr. Lace. So I guess somebody's coming
Hello, kitty.
to pick him up tonight, people.
Yeah.
Where is he going? I'm being told to a farm. That's what I'm being told.
Mr. Wade's going at the farm.
But I do want to, set the record straight that Mr. Lace is being kidnapped.
Kidnapped?
From the city. Right? Because it's the city that's making this happen. We got Mr. Lace in October or something like that of 2013. We're coming into October. I've almost had him for 2 years, people. 2 years. And if you notice, I can hold him. Right? He'll sit in the car with you in a little bed. He won't move. I bet you if I was to go for a car ride, put him in that little bed, he's fine now. He'd sit there. Right? The hens, you have to tie up their legs because you can't do nothing with them. But him, you can actually do something with him.
I like him.
I know.
I like the baby kitten.
So I'm not giving up to fight because I feel like I'm being pillaged. Mr. Lace belongs to the family here. And like I said, the nonprofit took him under the wing. He's a rescue bird. This is what I told the city. I work on a nonprofit, even though I'm behind on paperwork, whatever. Regardless, I got people dropping off their animals. You can see the little kitten and the mummy cat. Well, I haven't shown you the mummy cat yet, but there's the little kitten there. So I got like 2 extra cats in there. I got 2 extra. He wants to go be with the hens. So in this way, Mr. Lace is all rooster. He's all rooster. So going somewhere else to be with more hens is good for him in that way. I don't think he's really going to miss the people aspect of his family, us, at this point in life, because he just wants to be with the girls, right? The hens. But it all boils down to principle. By them taking away the hens, we've lost a food source. And
I got him some food.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to hang on to him because he's a little antsy right now. He's not interested in food. He wants to go and be with the girls. Okay? Let's not stress him out. I don't want him to try and flap out of my arms right now, okay? Please, you can go give it to the hens because that's the last meal that they're getting because these birds are out of here tonight.
Right. I want to get it for Mr. Wade.
Because my landlords are not up for the fight because they're old, and I understand that. And I appreciate that. But, the city is taking away a food source and leaving me with raccoon poo. That hasn't changed. It's all, they moved into the hen house area and they're still pooing over there and they're still climbing my porch and putting their dirty paws into everything and ripping things apart and climbing on this and climbing on that and, rats running around in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I don't know why those creatures get more precedence than a chicken. Like, what is the city afraid of? Like, seriously. How does 1 chicken, Mr. Lace, and 2 hens, frighten the city to the point where they gotta feel that they gotta do the things that they're doing and intimidating people, right?
Got dead.
Because, Mr. Lace is quite happy. Mr. Lace is quite happy where he's at. Andre, you're going to knock that camera down. He's quite happy. He stays pretty much close to home. He keeps the girls in the yard for the most part. He calls them in. Right? He shoos them back. He doesn't let them wander very far. He would prefer to be in his own yard. It's the hens that like to try and leave if they think they can get away with it. And even then, they're in the yard. And I had adequate space for them. Was building them a new home with more space and better shelter. Right? And yeah, they took away a food source. They, you know, they take people away, so incomes in the house drop. Yeah, that's my card. Those are my cards. I'm not the one that medically kidnapped John, and I'm not the one that came in and did the things that they did to my daughter, and did the things that they did to my grandson, and did the things that they did to my kids. And now they're taking away the chickens. So, anyway, I just wanted you to see him one last time, right? He really wants to go outside. So it should be interesting to see what happens to him. I don't know if I'll ever get the truth of it. I'm going to fight for him to get him back. I'm telling my landlord I want him back. I want Mr. Lace to come home too. You know, will that ever happen? I don't know. You know, in the meantime, I'm going to turn the cat, the pens that I have out there into cat houses. You know, we'll see how that goes. But at the end of the day, I want Mr. Lace to come back home where he belongs, here. This is where he started off with us, right? He's been here for almost 2 years. And he's never hurt anybody. In terms of noise, and I am going to do a petition, people, but in terms of noise, if somebody noise complaint.
I got better.
Yeah, noise complaint. Okay, well, let me tell you something about this Sky Train that's running from 5 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the morning. All day long. I wake up with this thing. Shoo, shoo, shoo. I go to sleep with it. Shoo, shoo. You know, maybe this is one reason why my ears are ringing, because I'm constantly having to listen to the Sky Train zip on by. And then if it's not that, Andre, please, if it's not that, let's factor in the octaves and the high notes when it comes. Andre, you're going to knock the camera down.
No, wait.
I'm talking, Andre, please. Let's talk about the sirens from the police cars. And he wanted you to see the feather. Let's talk about the ambulance and the fire department going up and down the road at all hours of the night, which is 10 times louder than him crowing. Okay? And he doesn't crow all the time. And since he's got attacked by a raccoon, he hardly ever crows at night anymore. And the only time he ever crowed at night was like a watchdog. He'd crow to let people, you know, out there know that, one, he's watching, right? And who's ever creeping the yard, whether it was a raccoon or a human, he was letting them know that he was out there. He's a protector. They're taking away the protector. Just like they took away John, the protector. They took away the mother from the baby, the protector. And they sure have been doing a number on me for quite a few years. But you see, when I was young, there's some things I learned along the way. And one of those things, when I look back as a high-risk teenager, is at the end of the day, the majority of the population, I'm 53 now, so we'll take it back 39 years ago. Not much has changed in terms of general attitude, right? In how we treat poor kids and, you know, animals and that kind of stuff. All right? Wait a minute, Mr. Lace. Right? I'm going to miss you, bird. See, he lets me hold him. Look at this. Can you see this? Look at him. I'm not breeding him. He's not no chicken fight. He's a pet. He's a therapy bird. He's a rescue bird. He hasn't caused any harm to anybody. And for anyone to come up and say, well, he crows once in a while, isn't nothing compared to this Sky Train going back and forth 50,000 times a day with the fire alarms, with the fire department and the police department and the ambulance running up and down 132, left, right, and center, like on the regular. And the noises that they make is 10 times louder than Mr. Lace could ever make. They don't want me to have Mr. Lace, because if I keep Mr. Lace, then that means other people are going to want chickens and roosters. Now, I'm kind of wondering why they don't want people to have chickens and roosters. Why? What is because a rooster makes noise. That's not good enough. Your fire department makes noise. Your police department makes noise. Your sky trains make noise. Huh? What about chickens? Oh, well, they're dirty. Well, yeah, any animal is dirty. But that's why they have owners. So they go about cleaning them up. I'm just trying to think of the reasons why they wouldn't allow people to have chickens. You know? I spent hundreds of dollars on screen for Mr. Lace. And then when the hens moved in, then I started really working on the hen house. But that little corner over there was a hen house before Mr. Lace even showed up. Because I have a raccoon problem that nothing is done by with the city. They don't care. And they don't care really much about the kids either out in the community. Because when I look back 39 years ago, and how I was treated as a young person, high risk, and what I went through, and how nobody stood up for me. Nobody stood up for me, people. So I think maybe that's why I'm such a little scrapper now. In terms of, well, you know, can't be that hard to file a civil lawsuit. It's easier to file a civil lawsuit than it is a lawsuit in freaking Supreme Court of Canada. Why should the city have the right to come in here and dictate for me to have to get rid of something that I've had for 2 years? That's like YouTube coming in 2 years later and taking down fucking videos because John's family wants to sabotage my channel. Because they want to hide what they did to John, and they killed off his brains and destroyed children's lives and young people's lives. And all for money. They did it for money, people. They didn't do it because they loved John. If they loved John, they would have been a part of his life for 30 years. They would have participated more with him. But they didn't. That's not what they wanted. Just like they left everything behind. The only thing they wanted was the money. So what, does Mr. Lace represent money somehow to the city? That if people start bringing home chickens and have their own chickens, they're not going to buy so many eggs in the grocery store? Is that it? Like, what's the problem? They can't control the number of people that want chickens. If one person wants chickens on a block, everybody on the block is going to want chickens? No. Not everybody on the block is going to want chickens, because not everybody's going to want to clean up after them. And obviously you can't have rooster to rooster to rooster to rooster, but there's no reason why you can't have a few roosters around town. Matter of fact, there's already roosters, and that's nothing. I told this guy, I said, what about all these other chicken fucking coops run in Surrey that you guys are not, my kids walk out in the community, go to the bus stop, do whatever they do. They always hearing chickens. People just hide it. Mr. Lace was a rescue bird because he got kicked out in the fog at 9:30 at night in 20 below weather, people. 20 below weather, and my kids found him running around in the fog in 20 below weather at 9:30 at night. Okay? He would have died if they wouldn't have caught him. Because whoever owned him before realized that he was a rooster and didn't want him because he made noise. It's not that they didn't want him. They didn't want to get caught with the chickens that they already have. So they let him loose so he could become coyote food. Only he didn't become coyote food. He became a pet. Something for the city to pillage and rob. Right? And I'm supposed to just bend over backwards and say, yeah, kick me in the ass some more. They don't care. They don't care about the homeless people. I'll say it again. They don't care about hungry kids. They don't care about families any more than Christy Clark and her BC Liberal government. They sure in the hell don't care about animals. And if they do, it's only the wild kind that cause trouble, like raccoons and rats. Those ones they like, because they're shit disturbers and cause trouble. Right? But something like this? Oh, no. No. So anyway, can you see? Look at this. Do you see what he's doing? He's not a bad bird. Like, whoever gets him, I hope they realize what they have. Like, seriously, I really do hope they realize what they have. Because Mr. Lace is a very special bird. Aren't you? I wanted to see what he looked like as he matured. You know, get that white beard going. Andre! Andre! Hold on, people. He's with the kitten and the mummy cat. I just have to make sure. So anyway, my kids are depressed. Again. Just one more reason to be depressed without anybody being held accountable. Everybody running around taking this and taking what they want. Throwing around, you know, their phantom paperwork that you never really get a handle on. Never really get to see it. But for some reason that gives them the right to take. And they don't care how you feel after they're done. No? And they use who they need to use. In this case, they're using my landlord. They're putting my landlord in a very tough spot. So, anyway. So he's going tonight. I don't know where he's going. He left me a big bag of feathers, people. Like, I got this big plastic bag full of Mr. Lace's feathers when he got attacked by that raccoon. And can you imagine, Andre, you almost knocked my camera down. Can you imagine that he survived a raccoon attack? And when it happened, when I came out there and I realized what was going on and he got away from that raccoon, Andre, you're going to knock my camera down. He ran into the house people because he knew that in the house there was safety. Right? Because they're not stupid. Mr. Lace is not stupid. I mean, he's all rooster, don't get me wrong. He would prefer just to be with the hens and do what roosters do. But at the end of the day, he's not a stupid bird.
No.
Just like he's letting me hold him right now.
I want to pet him.
Well, you can pet him.
Well, I bet he's going to poke me.
No, he's not going to poke you.
Well, I don't know. What's wrong?
You just don't put your face near his, that's all. Like a dog. You don't put your face near a dog's face, right? Anyway, he's healthy. He's getting his strength back. He's got most of it back already, if not all. And his feathers are coming back 10 times stronger, like I said. And, you know, he's been doing his job as a rooster looking after the hens. He really wants to get out there and get his little, you know, outside time before he'd have to go to bed. But little does he know, he's going to be picked up tonight and whoosed off somewhere. And that's it. It's almost going to be like he never existed. There was no Mr. Lace. This end of the book is, this part of the book, this chapter is done. Only it's not done, people. It's not done. I have a right to take this to court. The city didn't want to do it that way because they thought they could get away with what they got away with. And you know what? It's like John, right? Oh, well, we'll just wait and see if she does it. Yeah. We'll stress her out with something else, and you know, we'll stress her out with something else, and you know, and I mean, the yard stuff hasn't been dealt with yet, right? And if it's not going to be the yard, I'm sure it will be some other government fucking department that's going to do something to derail me from taking this to court, just like they're trying to derail me from taking what happened to John to court. Because that's why they do it. Because they pick the most vulnerable. Mr. Lace is very vulnerable. Even though he's a protector, there's no one there to protect him.
I want.
Right? Who's protecting him? Certainly not the city. They don't care where he goes as long as he's gone. Same thing with those homeless people. They don't care where they go as long as they're gone. right? If they got it in their bonnet, they want me out of this house because they want to stick it to me for telling the world what really goes on out in this community. They'll just find another way. All right, so.
Look.
Okay, we're not going to fly around the house, Mr. Bays. Oh. I could have trained this bird, people. I'm serious. I could have trained this bird. This bird you can train. But anyway, he's a wild bird.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't want him throwing at me.
He's a wild bird.
Yeah, I like
Mr. Lace, rockabye. Mr. Lace, my rooster. Mr. Lace, Mr. Lace, rockabye. Mr. Lace, the rooster. The kids never really got to see you. Oh, I'm going to write a song. It'll be corny, but
I have
I'm going to write a song. Look at this bird. You see this bird?
I will show you my song I have.
Mr. Names, Mr. Names, he's the finest rooster. All right, people.
What are you doing?
I'm going to put him back outside so he can have some free time out there before he has to go to bed.
I want to show him